Hi, I'm Annika Johnsons from Al Johnson's in Sister Bay. I hope you enjoy my new video series called Door County Girl. These are stories of my life, the people and places that I love, and of course how we all survive here in northern Wisconsin. You can come back as often as you like, but don't forget to subscribe to Al's YouTube channel. I'll be posting lots of really cool new videos. So let's go! Welcome to another episode of Door County Girl. I'm back here with my brother,
Rolf.
Yep, he's the chef, I'm just the eater.
I'm a cook.
Oh yeah, he's a cook. Yeah, there's a difference. People will always tell you there's a difference.
If I say I'm a chef, I'm bragging.
Yeah, this is true. He's a cook. Anyway, what are we making today?
Today we're going to make some old-fashioned Swedish fruit soup. You remember it?
I remember it well.
Remember we used to come in the restaurant and Grandma used to have a big 5-gallon pot cooking all the time. I'd say every 2 days you're making Swedish fruit soup.
Which our grandmother would be my dad's mother, Edith. And there's quite a bit recipes that we use in the restaurant that are hers.
Oh, the solid recipes, all the solid Scandinavian recipes. We have a little limper bread, all the sandwiches that are served in limper. It's because of her.
Her Swedish meatballs, her
meatballs,
pickled herring.
The pickled herring, the pickled beets,
yep.
The fruit soup. You know, what's funny about the fruit soup, though, is we don't serve as much today as we used to. And I think it's people just have lost the idea of it. It's like herring. I don't serve as much herring as I used to.
Well, I'll tell you.
It's a different taste today.
This is what I have found. When I started waitressing at the restaurant, I found that you got the whole supper club deal for one price.
Oh, that's right.
Like I'm coming into the restaurant, I'm going to order the Swedish meatball dinner. Now, the first thing the waitress asks them is...
salad?
Nope.
What's that?
Do you want the pickled herring, the sherbet float, the Swedish fruit soup?
Oh yeah, because it
the
all
tomato
came.
Juice.
It was one price.
Yep, you get a choice of the one, and fruit soup was one of the choices.
Right.
And then people will go, "What's fruit soup?" And I'd say, "Well, it's cinnamon flavored, stewed dried fruits like apples, raisins, cinnamon sticks,
peaches, there's
and
prunes.
They serve it chilled." And they'd go, "Ew." And I'm like, it is so good. I mean, if you've never tried it,
it's
I would
fantastic.
say try it. I think kids would really like it.
I like it best hot, so when I already sneak a cup, I take the coffee cup and I dip it in there and we drink it. And especially good in the wintertime when it's really cold out.
Yeah.
And really, you could put a little... I don't know, a little booze in there, and you get yourself a little hot toddy out of it or something like that. It would be delicious.
Yeah.
But either way, because it's got a thickening agent in it, it coats the throat. It's fantastic. Now, cold is a more popular way to have it. It's a great dessert item too. So you mentioned as an appetizer, but I knew a lot of people would have it as a dessert.
Yeah, and actually, I learned from the old school way in the salad bar, the older ladies that I used to know that worked in there, they would heat it up in the microwave, a little dish for themselves at the end of the day.
And
they'd put a nice big scoop
French vanilla ice cream.
French vanilla ice cream in it.
I remember that too.
And you could see it slowly melting in there. And at first you're thinking, that looks gross. And then you take a bite. It's like eating hot apple pie without the crust.
But remember, we used to always have Nipponsuppa like that too.
Yeah, Nipponsuppa, which is a rose hips soup.
Yep.
And my mom would make it hot for us. It's very good for vitamin C. And she would put a big scoop of vanilla ice cream in it. And it was like a dessert item.
You can make those little designs in it. They do with those fancy baristas always do, you know.
Ooh, put our initials in there with the little spoon. And I know, I remember. Well, the fruit soup is one of my favorites. I don't think people should turn their nose up against it. I mean, you should try it. I remember when we were younger and our parents used to take us on vacation, we used to go on cruises here and there.
Oh, yeah.
And Rolf, what would you always get that no one else got?
They always had a cold fruit soup on there. Blueberry, they had strawberry. It was always different.
I will always remember that. Rolf
you know what, I've
always got the fruit soup that they offered.
I made one year when I came back from the cruise, and I made a blueberry version of it, and it didn't sell. Again, I think it's maybe not such an international appetite that comes into Al's always.
And if it was
time.
90 degrees out and hot out,
nothing's better.
I would rather have a cup of cold blueberry soup than a hot, chicken noodle.
Right.
But
let's get moving on this fruit soup right here.
Yep.
So ahead of time, I took the liberty to heat up some water. So I got a gallon of water. We're going to bring it to a boil, and it's going to have a 1.5 cups of sugar.
And again, you know, when you're using sugar and fruit, do you have to put a ton of sugar in it? If people are like worried about sugar or,
Well, you know, I thought about that too. You know, you could make it sugar-free and maybe put a substitute in or rely on the sugar and then maybe sweeten it a little later on. But the reality is there's so much sugar in the fruit, it's not going to make a whole hill of beans one way or the other. So I got 3 or 4 cinnamon sticks we're going to throw in there. And this is the crazy part. You can go to the store and find dried fruit. You know, Sunmade's one brand. There's a bunch of brands out there. I just picked up, I got apples in here. I got giant jumbo raisins in here. They had a product up there that was mixed bits, which had pears, peaches, and apples. I got cranberries. I got...
Ooh, apricots.
I got apricots.
Plums.
I've got... they are plums. Let's not call them prunes because that turns people off.
Yeah, we don't call them prunes.
So those are plums. And we also have some Door County cherries in there. The only thing I'm missing is dried lingonberries. I just don't have any at this time. But
yeah, they're not always easy to get.
All you do is you put that in there, and that is it. Now we're going to bring that to a boil. And when it comes to the boil, we're going to thicken it with a little potato starch flour. And I tell you, people say, well, you can use cornstarch. No, you can't. Cornstarch is funny. It'll ball up on you. If you take some potato starch flour and you add about 2 to 1, so I'm going to put a 1/4 cup with a 1/2 cup of cold water. I'm going to mix it and make a slurry. I'm just going to add that to it after it boils, and I've shut it off. You don't want it boiling when you add the slurry of potato starch. It'll break down.
Okay.
But this stuff is great. This stuff's like magic. You can get this at Al Johnson's. You can get it online. Some grocery stores, specialty stores carry it. And what's really neat about it is the recipe's on the back of this thing too. I've made all of them. They're fantastic. They're super easy.
And what else do I love on that box?
Oh, I turned you on to the Swedish butter cookies.
Swedish butter cookie recipe.
I said they're so easy to make, and you can do crazy things with them. Some people add potato chips with them, and you get potato chip cookies. It sounds crazy, but they're good.
Those are Betty's cookies.
I've added lemon zest to them, and it comes out with a great lemon butter cookie.
So this little box right here, how much does it cost, do you think?
You know, I don't remember. It's maybe $3.95, $4.95.
Yeah, look at all those great recipes you're getting. Angel food cake, master white sauce.
The master white sauce is a nice bechamel sauce. It's so easy to make. You know, you can make it as thick as you like. You can make it to thicken soups, gravies, stews, whatever. So anyhow, we're going to have to wait for that to come to a boil. But in the meantime, you can try some of the cold stuff that I've made yesterday.
Yeah, we were thinking ahead and made a little extra
so we
could start
I wanted you to
this
try
up.
both versions of it.
Oh yeah,
So you're going to try the cold.
And I love plums, prunes, people. I can eat them right out of the bag. I think they're delicious.
You know what you should be asking me right now?
What's that?
What's the lemon and the orange for?
Yeah, what are the lemon and the orange for?
It's for the fruit soup that I forgot to put in there. How about that?
What?
But no
Do you
harm.
cut them up and put them in there?
No harm, no foul. This is super easy too. You can't screw this up. You can put any kind of dried fruit you want in there. I've never tried a strict tropical fruit like maybe like mangoes and stuff like that, but I suppose you could.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. How much? Whatever amount you want?
Yeah,
or?
you know, it doesn't take much. A lot of flavor comes out of these. Make sure you wash them off first to get any food wax off there.
I think you're forgetting to put the whole lemon in there, Rolf. You need some more orange in there, Rolf.
So, in honor of Mother,
we'll put everything in there for my mom.
Yeah.
All right.
Have you given this a try?
All right. Now,
we don't have a vanilla ice cream, but we're eating this cold right now.
Mm-hmm.
I love this stuff.
I love it. It's so good. I don't know why people are so weird about trying this. It's just so delicious to me. This would be great for breakfast in the morning. Put a little yogurt in there. You know, I mean, if you just wanted a little fruit with your yogurt, you could put it right with your plain yogurt or...
And again, like you can tell, if you even want to strain it a little bit or chop the pieces up smaller, if you just serve it as a drink
and you know what's
at night.
Oh yeah, you know what else is nice? That you were just saying that? See how it's not super thick? It's just thick enough. But if you wanted to add a little rum in there, or you wanted to add a little something to make yourself a little happy, you could just put it in there.
I put a little brandy in mine, I must say it, and made my version of a hot toddy with this stuff instead of...
You know what it reminds me of?
What?
Punche. In memory of Mario. Punche.
Oh, yeah.
Remember for Christmas, he would make a same big fruit pot, and then he would put a ton of rum in it, and he called it Mexican punche.
Yes, which probably means punch, but I don't speak Spanish, but I'm guessing.
Ooh, it's boiling now.
It is boiling. So here we're at the boiling temp, it would probably take about 15 minutes. So we're going to probably have to come back to this in a little bit.
I love that the apples are all fluffy.
I used to be able to find this stuff in every grocery store, but now it's real hard to find. I have pretty good luck at, like, say, places like Woodman's and stuff like that. Otherwise, you got to go online. And I've never tried it with fresh fruit. I wonder if there's a recipe out there.
You know what I hated when I used to eat the fruit soup? When I would bite into it and there was a big seed in there from the...
It was from the apricots usually, or the plum.
No, from the plum.
Yeah.
There were fresh plums in there, prunes, and you'd get it in there and all of a sudden you'd be like, and you get a big old seed in there too.
Remember we used to serve prunes, stewed prunes at the restaurant too.
Yeah.
When's the last time?
And they made stewed prunes like this.
The same way.
And they cut a lot of lemons and oranges in it, and they were good.
Delicious. But I think it's the name prune that turns people off.
What's wrong with people? You don't have to think of prunes as a bathroom duty, people. They're just definitely for all times of the day.
We could probably bring it back by calling it stewed plums.
Oh, let's call it stewed plums. I love it.
See, now we got a nice boil going. Now, do I have a whisk anywhere?
Where's the whisk?
Do have one.
Yeah, you do. That's so good.
So what we could do here now, we could shut this thing off because you don't want it to be boiling when you add the potato starch flour.
Why?
It'll break down.
Okay.
So we're going to let that kind of cool down from its boil. And we're going to make our slurry right now.
Do you just take it off the burner or you just leave it sit?
I'm going to let it sit because that fruit's got to break down just a little bit yet.
Okay, so you put that potato starch in there.
This is just, it's 2 to 1, so that's just a 1/4 cup. This is a 1/2 cup of water, cold water. And just stir it.
Is that like a roux?
A roux, it's not so much. It's called a slurry when you do it this way.
Slurry.
A roux is usually with a little thicker with flour and oil, and usually cook a roux. Unless you are, who was it, Martha Stewart, she likes to make what's called, I think she was her, like, you make Miller balls.
What are Miller balls?
That's when you make a roux with flour and butter, and you roll them up in tiny little balls and leave them in your refrigerator. Whenever you need something to thicken up, you just plop one of those in there. Check it out.
Martha Stewart's
cool.
always thinking.
I'm pretty sure it was her I learned that from. So we still got a boil here, so let's let that cool down. Pull it off there.
Did Dad like fruit soup?
He loved fruit soup. Again, he loved it warm as well.
Yeah. I remember Dad always coming into, he liked apples, and there's a lot of apples in the fruit soup. And I remember Dad wasn't a huge dessert eater. But
you know what he liked? A piece of apple pie with a big slice of cheddar cheese.
That's
on
exactly
it.
what I was just
And
going
I
to say.
have that all the time too, and Lori always says, well, that's gross. I mean, it's delicious.
And I always thought that he should have sharp cheddar cheese on it, but he only wanted the
yellow,
orange cheddar
the medium
cheese.
cheddar.
Yeah.
So
and he just loved it.
If you paid attention here, this thickened
Like he wasn't a
just
cherry
little bit.
pie eater. Oh yeah, it's starting to thicken up.
Just a little bit. It won't get much thicker than that. What's nice about this, like I say, if you're not feeling well too, this is like, I don't know, fruit soup version of chicken soup.
Yeah.
And you could drink a little bit of this in a mug on a cold winter night, and it'll soothe your throat so nicely.
Yeah, that would be great.
So what we got here now, it's nice and thick, and Annika, I want you to try this. I'm going to use this measuring cup as your drinking mug. And just the broth, and we get some small pieces in here, and you're going to find out why this is my favorite way to have it.
Ooh.
And tell me what you think, and I'll offer you some other suggestions.
Smells awesome.
Isn't that good?
Yes.
How it coats the throat?
That is delicious.
Now, I got to
I
admit,
never would have thought to do that.
I pour some bourbon in there once in a while, or some brandy, not for work,
And
but
what do I like?
rum.
Rum!
But that would
Gotta
be
put a little
hot
captain in
toddy
here.
or something like that on a cold winter night.
Yes, this reminds me of Mario
Yeah,
when he does punche.
the Mexican punche.
And that's for Christmas, and it's all fruit like this, so that's fabulous.
So every nationality has their own version.
Well, so everybody should try the fruit soup in general.
Absolutely,
And
and
when
you should
you-
try to make it. It is
Yeah.
so easy to make.
And if you don't like it, then you can just turn it into a little punche.
Right, and I'm telling you, don't go with the cornstarch. Get the potato starch flour. Not particularly this brand if you don't have to, but we do have this one online.
Right, so if you people mess it up, it's because you didn't get potato starch flour, right?
That's right.
That's right. We got to listen to the The cook.
Yes.
The cook. Well, that's it for this episode of Door County Girl, and don't forget to go on to aljohnsons.com to get this recipe.
And make sure you check us out on YouTube and hit the like button, subscribe, and if you hit the little goat in the bottom, that'll get to your mailbox and it'll let you know when you have a new episode coming up.
Yep.
And there's all kinds of other secrets on there that you haven't seen yet. It's all the videos, history of Al Johnson's, other little tidbits that you might find interesting about Door County.
Yep. See you next time. Bye. Thanks for watching Door County Girl. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you next time.